Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at Kappalabhati or breath of fire, skull shining breath. This is a really powerful pranayama breath practice which is so powerful on so many levels. Traditionally it's used a lot in a kundalini practice, but it really has its place as part of your everyday practice. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how it works and what it does for you, body, your nervous system, your mind, your whole being, and how to practice it really easily at home. I do have to say that this practice is fairly contraindicated. That means that it's not for everybody. So if you have the following health concerns, I'm afraid this one isn't for you. If you're pregnant, you have high or low blood pressure, if you have pressure problems with your eyes, or if you've had recent eye surgery. So if you have any of those health concerns, this practice isn't for you. So Kappalabhati literally means skull shining breath. It's often called breath of fire because it also creates a lot of heat in the belly. Kappalabhati or breath of fire is not that often taught in regular yoga classes anymore because of the contraindications and because it takes quite a lot of practice. However, that being said, it really is worth learning how to do it properly and incorporating it into your everyday. Why? On my Kundalini Global course, I learned a huge amount about breath of fire from my amazing teacher, Helen. And breath of fire is really fantastic way to regulate your nervous system every day. You're using this pumping action in the breath. It's dynamic, there's action, it's forceful. Breath of fire very powerfully helps you to regulate your nervous system. So this works by putting your body under a moderate amount of controlled stress, using the abdominal muscles, breathing quite quickly but in a controlled way. We elevate the heart rate and your breath is quick but it's controlled. At the end of the practice, you hold the breath and then as you exhale, you release and you get this lovely rush of feel-good hormones. What this does for you on an emotional and mental level is really quite amazing. So a lot of Kundalini practices are known for this. It allows the stuck energy to begin to flow through you. And I know the first time that I did this breath of fire practice, I hated it and I was in tears. Why did I hate it? Because it was really hard and it was something that I felt was quite forceful. But afterwards I felt absolutely incredible. And the tears were a real release. So don't be surprised if when you do this practice, you might feel sudden emotion that you didn't realize needed to come to the surface. You might feel teary, you might feel exhausted and like you need to sleep. You might feel joyful, you might want to laugh. There are all sorts of things that you might experience. So please be prepared for that. Treat yourself gently and make sure you have loads of time after your practice to sit quietly and allow whatever you need to feel to move through you. Now this is a really important part of the practice. Don't just get up and go into the rest of your day. You need time to integrate that emotion and that feeling and just to allow it to be. Later on, you might want to do some journaling, write a few things down. You might want to talk to a therapist or a friend or do something different, do some other yoga, go for a nice long walk. That's something to be aware of. I haven't said these things to frighten you off the practice because this is a huge part of why it's so good to practice. Often we bury our emotions down deep. We carry on with the day, but those emotions are still there and will surface at some point. You could think of breath of fire as a little bit of a flush and a reset for you, emotionally, physically, and mentally. So on a really physical level, those rush of endorphins and feel-good hormones will just help you feel really great and help flush out cortisol and all the other stress hormones in your body, and just can make you feel really tingly, sometimes a little bit lightheaded. So again, take your time after the practice to reset, be quiet, have some water, and just let everything settle down. Now, it's also really important here to talk about Manipura chakra. So this pranayama practice directly influences the Manipura or solar plexus chakra, which sits behind the navel, the belly button. Associated with this chakra is the fire element, hence breath of fire. And it's all to do with our sense of personal power, our willpower, our sense of empowerment, self-confidence. So when this chakra is balanced, you'll feel strong in yourself. You'll feel really self-confident, lots of self-esteem. It's also the chakra that helps us in making really important decisions in our life, and it governs the digestion of our emotions. So here we are back to our emotions. So when this chakra is in balance, you'll be able to process your emotions easily. When it's out of balance, emotions will become stuck and not digested, not processed. So you can think of this breath working actively on Manipura chakra as helping you gain strength emotionally and gain more sense of self-confidence. It really is the part of your body esoterically that deals with personal and self transformation. So that again is why breath of fire is really so powerful, because it brings you back to your center. It helps you feel more emotionally stable. It helps you be more able to make decisions, to move forward and to process these complex emotions. Also, it really helps with your digestion. As an IBS sufferer, whenever I've done sustained periods of time of this practice, it really does help your digestion, as long as you do it on an empty stomach. I definitely wouldn't recommend having your lunch or your breakfast and then practicing. Make sure you have a nice empty stomach before you begin. So I'm going to be showing you the simplest way to do this practice. There are many different ways, and often in Kundalini yoga it's done, breath of fire is done while you're doing other asana practices. I'm just going to show you the most simple way. And my suggestion is to start off really small, perhaps with 10 pumping breaths, and build up from there very gradually, changing that amount. If you're practicing every day, changing after, say, maybe 2 weeks, and then every week just adding some more breaths on. Another thing to add, see, there's so much to talk about with this breath, but it really is so powerful, is that in the beginning you might find it really quite tricky because you use a lot of deep abdominal muscles. Now, if your muscles aren't used to this kind of breath, they probably won't be, you might find it quite tricky. This is another brilliant side effect or outcome of this pranayama practice, is that it tones these deep abdominal muscles. So it's really good for your abs, really good for your emotions, your nervous system. It's just brilliant, and your mind. Okay, so let's get started. So we begin in a comfortable seat. You can sit however you like. I like to sit on a bolster. You can do this as always, in a chair, sitting up in bed, but you really want to lift the heart, lengthen through the spine, relax the shoulders down, and make sure that you can put the hands on your lower belly. This practice isn't so great lying down. It's best to start off sitting in the beginning. So this pumping breath works by drawing the belly in quite sharply and forcing the air out through the nose. So you might also want to blow your nose at this point. Just make sure that the nostrils are nice and clear. If you've got a cold as well, this practice can be really quite tricky. So wait until you're feeling well again and then practice. So it can really be very helpful to have the hands on your lower belly to help with this pumping action. If you're not used to it, it can take quite a few rounds just to get that feeling and that action. So this is just a little demonstration of breath of fire in action. See how my belly goes in and how my breath is forced out through the nose in a rhythmical, steady fashion. And now let's practice together. We're going to start off with 10 pumps of our breath. So as we draw the belly in, we exhale out through the nose like this. At the end, we'll take a deep breath in. Hold the breath for as long as we comfortably can. And then exhale, release. And just take a few moments here to be still and notice what's happening in your body. Notice how you feel. And then whenever you're ready, bring the hands back to your belly and we'll go again, another 10. Inhale through the nose. Big deep breath, hold the breath, hold the breath. And exhale, release. Again, just notice. Lovely. One more time. Hands onto the belly. 10 more pumps. Inhaling in to begin. Deep breath in. Hold the breath, hold the breath. And exhale, release. And just be still. You might notice some tingling sensations. Sometimes if you get tinnitus, that can be heightened. Notice the energy moving around your body, maybe some heat in the low belly. There's no right or wrong. Just notice what's happening for you in this moment. And then whenever you're ready, take a deep breath in and out. Maybe roll your shoulders, take a gentle stretch. And there we go. This is your breath of fire, very simple beginner's breath of fire practice. So integrate this into your day. Maybe just do those 3 lots of 10. And I'll be doing more videos for more advanced versions of this practice. I really hope you enjoy Breath of Fire and the amazing benefits it has. If you have any questions, please just leave them in the comments below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Wishing you love and light on your path to yoga.